Welcome back, my fellow patriots, to the Save Our Republic Daily Video Series. We are continuing our discussion about the preamble of the United States Constitution. Before we do that, I want to recognize that this is George Washington's birthday, his actual birthday. You might remember I had a video earlier in the series dealing with the demise of his holiday in the civic calendar, and especially President's Day usurping his holiday. So I wanted to make sure that I touched base with that. And really continuing with the preamble is very appropriate because he did preside over the Constitutional Convention, but for his presence, it likely would not have happened, and it likely would not have succeeded, and the Constitution likely would not have been ratified. So those of you out there that hold Washington to disdain and don't believe that he has much of an impact on American society today, I think that you are sorely mistaken. Remember that, but for him, we probably wouldn't have a constitution which allowed us to make such monumental progress as a nation and really for the world. Clearly a flawed man. We hear a lot of that, but we need to recognize his accomplishments as well. The preamble continues, or begins. I'm going to finish the whole thing this time. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We kind of take this for granted, kind of like so much else of our blessings of liberty, but the reality is that the preamble really emphasizes and underscores the fact that we have a constitution, that it's written, and that we, the people, have established and ordained that. And we say, yeah, so what? Well, the reality is until 1788, when the Constitution was ratified by the states, there had been no written constitution for a major republic, or actually any major country, that had been ratified by the people. We did it here by having our states convene constitutional conventions that were specifically for that purpose. They laid out a written document. They debated about whether or not it made sense or not, and then it was ratified and took effect. No nation before ever did that. And despite all the controversy about America, we need to remember that that is a fundamental, huge leap in freedom and liberty. We created a social compact. We wrote it down, had it ratified by the people. It was flawed. It still is. But it is a remarkable achievement in the progress of human history. And I'm going to use a couple of examples. Do we go back and condemn early surgeons and physicians for not having today, having back then, today, MRIs and vaccines and lasers to do surgery? No. We know that they made progress by doing the best they could, by having, whatever surgery they did, by using whatever tools they had, and developing new techniques and medicines. The founding fathers were at that stage. Nobody else in the course of human history had even thought about having the people ratify a constitution, writing it down. So the fact that they're not leaps and bounds ahead of where the rest of history was at that time should not be a cause of condemnation, but one of celebration. Similarly, technology today, the cell phones and the computers. Do we go back and condemn Turning and the other people that were the pioneers because they used gas tubes and these, vacuum tubes and all these huge mechanical devices that took, so much effort to just be able to produce simple calculations? No, of course not, because they were building on what had happened before, and they could not even envision that today you can have a cell phone that has more computing power than what it took to get to the moon back in the 60s. So we don't condemn them for that. We celebrate that they were able to move it forward. And similarly, the Constitution, the preamble, acknowledging that we are establishing and ordaining a new Constitution, was a monumental achievement in human history that should not be denigrated but commemorated. And then we see the flaws, and we say, you know what? There were problems there. We need to recognize that. We wish it was better, but it wasn't. And we need to point out what was wrong and move forward to correct it, like we did with the Reconstruction Amendments, the Suffragette Amendment, and so many other amendments, 27 so far, that have made major progress in the Constitution. There's more to come, I assume, at some point. I have lots I would like to have adopted. But the reality is that we should celebrate the fact that the process of writing and circulating, debating, and ratifying a Constitution was truly revolutionary, and we should be thankful. Until next time, don't forget about America's Survival Guide at americasurvivalguide.org. .com. Patriot Week at patriotweek.org. The Patriot Lessons TV program, also available at patriotweek.org, as well as the Patriot Lessons American History and Civics podcast at all the normal platforms for podcast. Till tomorrow, God bless you, and God bless America.